Okay, so I've got my two pinch pots here. We're going to look at how to connect two pinch pots together. First of all, you want to make sure you've got them the same size. Maybe start with two lumps of clay that are the same size. Make them in the same session. And right now I'm just kind of working the clay to make sure it's the right size that I want. I think I'm going to go for an elephant. So I'm making the body of the elephant. I'm going to make two elephants, one functional, one sculptural. This is going to be the sculptural one. So first step is to score and slip. And again, this clay is not quite leather, hard. It's still somewhere in between plastic and leather, so I don't need to go crazy getting it soaked. I'm not going to dunk it under the water, but I'm going to use my brush to apply the water into those grooves I've just carved. Now I'm going to go back and do that again. I'm going to let this one sit. I'm going to take the other one. Now, if you're working with leather hard clay, you might do this in a different order. You might soak the lip first with the brush and the water. I'm going to apply the water with my brush. As you see, this holds so much water. If I just touch one part of the clay, the water just travels through all those cracks. So you don't have to sit there and brush. You just kind of dip and touch. I'm going to score this again. The more thoroughly you score and get this surface wet, soft, pliable, the two sides will really sink in together and it'll be easy to smooth the seam. Okay, I'm going to do one more application of water on both sides. Oop, not too much. One more. Score. Okay, now that's a proper score job, right? So now I'm going to take these two together, and you can see there's lots of water, lots of moisture. I'm just going to compress both sides into each other. So I'm taking the clay and I'm compressing. I'm not freaking out that this looks really messy. There's this big seam. I'm really taking the time to compress the clay into both sides into each other. And now I'm going to use my thumb and I'm going to smooth the seam this way, but then I'm going to pull the clay from above, down below, the clay from below, up above. I'm working both sides and I'm continuing to compress the clay. And once you get your form here, made from your two pinch pots, you can edit your form. You can stretch it, change the shape of it. And I'll show you how to do that. So I get this smooth. If you don't have a good connection here, once you start stretching it, that seam will show itself. Okay. There we go. So, it's a good first go. You can see wherever that seam is showing itself, I'm just going to keep compressing the clay above and below, back and forth. Yep, so now I've got my big hollow spherical form. And if I want it to be longer and skinnier, I can roll it. If I want one end to be more narrow, if you're doing some sort of animal form or egg form or penguin form, for me, for an elephant, I'm gonna just elongate it a little bit. So I'm gently pulling my hands apart from each other and I'm stretching it out. And like I said, as you stretch it out, you will see that seam reappear. It almost looks like an egg, okay? And then all I need to do is compress the clay again in both directions. Okay. And something else that would be really handy to do is add some, call this like clay caulking, right? On any seam that is just, you know, not really disappearing. Add some extra clay. So reinforce it, make it stronger. Especially if you're constructing something like a slab box, putting this little coil in each of the seams will help make it a thorough, strong connection. Now we can do some adding of appendages and details, and I'll do some more videos along the way about how to make feet, wings, faces, etc. All right, have fun.